Tonight on Fox West Texas Live at 9, we hear from the son of a West Texas hero who was one of the thousands of brave souls who landed on the coast of France 75 years ago today. And chances are you know exactly who this man is if you're driving around the Concho Valley. His free spirit and kind soul makes a difference every day in his community.
Tonight in sports, we'll head east where Dax Gray will be live at the Dell Diamond on the eve of Wall State semifinal in high school baseball. It's Fox West Texas Live at 9 and it starts right now.
No commanding officer can ever find words to adequately express his deep sympathy with those whose sons, husbands, or brothers finished their earthly tour of duty while under his command.
Across the globe, continue to honor and remember those who risked their lives during the invasion of Normandy in 1944. West Texans are honoring one of their own, James Earl Rudder, a U.S. Army Ranger and commander on D-Day.
He was one of those lucky ones who survived that horrific battle next to the thousands who lost their lives. You just heard was Rudder's son reading a letter his father wrote decades ago, a letter that no one ever wants to write, telling a soldier's mother that her son would not be making his way back home. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on Fox West Texas Live at 9. I'm Kenny Mack, joined by Tim O'Brien.
Rudder was born in Eden and eventually moved to Brady. His letter gained international attention. And today, years after he's been gone, West Texans are continuing to honor his legacy with a statue.
Our Monica Coleman was in Brady today for that statue reveal. Certainly an emotional time for many people in West Texas. She joins us now with more tonight. Hey, Monica.
Hey guys, over 400 people gathered in the square in downtown Brady to honor and celebrate the late James Earl Rudder with the revealing of the statue in his remembrance. D-Day, the D-Day hero was celebrated and honored by his community and friends.
So this is the most special day. We lived in Brady until I was 12 years old. We left here in 1955 and we have always loved Brady.
The Rudder family has more or less been, you know, a family-to-family relationship while he was growing up here.
I get teary-eyed sometimes thinking about it.
When he was in like junior high, he would sweep the floors for Rudder in one of his businesses.
It has been fun to do this. It was time-consuming some days, but it was fun, and we're glad to honor Earl Rudder.
I hope they'll come to Brady. I hope they'll come to Brady, and I hope they will look at the statue and read the plaques and read the information and know what this town, the values that this town instilled in my father that carried him the rest of his life.
Rudder was also a proud Texas A&M alum, former mayor of Brady, Texas. Live in the Fox West Texas studios, I'm Monica Coleman.
Thanks, Monica. Such a beautiful square that Brady has, so not really a better location that you could reveal that statue, and it was a truly gorgeous day to do it as well.
It sure was, and we were there in that square not that long
ago.
ago.
It's so
a couple
beautiful.
Weeks back. Now, our chief meteorologist, Ricky Cody, joins us. Ricky, the band is back together.
It is. And real quickly regarding James Earl Rudder, Kyle Mosley, a good friend of mine who told us about this story. In fact, he told you, Tim, you and I about this when we were in the heart of Texas just, what, a couple months now? Last month, actually. And I'll tell you, if there's ever a town that is proud of their culture, of their heritage, and more importantly, their history, it is the town of Brady. And it is absolutely wonderful to see that community come out and seeing all the photos and stuff, too. So a big shout out to him. But yeah, guys, we are back together, and the weather really hasn't been that bad. In fact, we had less of the humidity in our forecast today, so it didn't feel that bad out there, although we did make it well into the upper 80s from Ballinger to Coleman in the heart of Texas, where Monica Coleman and Phoenix O'Connor were today, 86 degrees. 90 in Menard. We're at 91 is what we hit sit officially out at Mathis Field, and 86 in the Key City. No rain out there tonight. We certainly saw that this time yesterday, some showers and storms, and then of course that dust storm warning, but that has since cleared out. Lots of sunshine in our forecast today. We'll have mostly clear to partly cloudy skies overnight tonight. We'll drop down into the low to mid 60s, and then the heat, it's back into the forecast as we head into your day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Next chance of rain isn't until early next week. So 67 by around 3 o'clock, 64 by 5, and then we'll stay in the 60s to start your day with lots of sunshine, winds out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. And then, as I mentioned, the humidity is back in the forecast. And of course, we'll talk about that and let you know how to prepare for your weekend coming up just a bit.
The city of Houston is designating June 9th as Malia Davis Day. They issued the proclamation to honor the 4-year-old, whose remains were found in Arkansas last week, 1 month after her disappearance. Mayor Sylvester Turner approved a request earlier this week to turn the Houston City Hall lights pink, her favorite color, and that's on Sunday. And one Texas teacher is out of a job this evening after she tweeted President Trump asking for his help to get rid of illegal students. The Fort Worth School District says high school teacher Georgia Clark tweeted to the president in May. Outraged community members demanding her termination. The school board met and they voted to fire her.
3 school safety bills are now the law in Texas. Governor Greg Abbott signed the bills today, saying that these new laws will do more to keep students safe than anything else Texas has done.
With the stroke of a pen,
Senate Bill 11, making schools safer, is now law in the state of Texas.
school safety is always on the minds of Texas lawmakers, but on May 2018, it was pushed to the forefront. A student at Santa Fe High School went on a shooting rampage, killing 10 people. The very next week, Governor Greg Abbott called experts in law enforcement and mental health, school leaders, students, parents to the Capitol to talk about school safety. A year and 2 weeks after those roundtables, in the same room where they happened, action.
What they went through has not happened in vain, and that in their memory we are taking tangible, concrete steps to see that no one has to go through, as best we can prevent it, what they went through.
Senate Bill 11 is a comprehensive bill to heighten school safety standards. It requires all campuses have threat assessment teams and the buildings themselves have higher safety standards. It also creates the Texas Child Mental Health Consortium, a telemedicine mental health care system.
This consortium will use health-related institutions of higher education to provide mental health services to children all across the state of Texas.
House Bill 18 increases mental health training standards for educators and school personnel, teaching them how to properly respond to children. It also improves access to care through school-based mental health centers. Students can be treated, but only after parental consent. And House Bill 1387 removes the cap on how many school marshals can be on a campus, letting district leaders decide instead. Marshals are trained employees allowed to carry guns at schools.
Laws that will do more than Texas has ever done to make our schools safer places.
The Storybook Capital of America is kicking off its annual Children's Art and Literacy Festival with the Storybook Parade. Over 30 entries, including organizations and businesses in Abilene that are participating in the Storybook Parade. With an estimated 500 people, characters like the Three Little Pigs, the Cat in the Hat, and the Big Bad Wolf could not be missed.
Folks to come down, dress up, walk in the parade, so it was more like a neighborhood parade. But now it's progressed to having, we'll have a showcase float for each of our past years.
This will be taking place all weekend long in downtown Abilene. You can go to AbileneCAC.org for details.
Yeah, we talked earlier today that Dr. Seuss is popular, but there's really no other location in the world. I mean, Storybook Capital of the world and or of America, but Dr. Seuss is very popular there, along with all those other storybook characters.
Yeah, we brought it up at 6 o'clock. Just who would think? Just some West Texas town.
Abilene sure is. And our Lexus Green actually had a hard job today. She was judging a costume contest.
I'll tell you what, kudos to her, because I don't like judging.
And
the
it was
faces
kiddos.
on those kids. Yeah, you want them all to win, right?
Yeah, so Lexus, did you have a favorite, or was that just extremely hard?
Hey, Kenny, long time no see. Well, quite the afternoon spent at the 8th annual kickoff to the Calf Festival, but it was nothing short of fantastic. And you're going to have to see these costumes for yourself because it was one tough job trying to decide which one was the most creative. Now, the Children's Art and Literacy Festival is brought to us by the Cultural Affairs Council. The festival started back in 2012 and celebrates the artwork of an award-winning children's author each summer. This year, it's the works of Peter Brown, the author of Children Make Terrible Pets and Creepy Carrots. And to kick off the events is the costume contest.
We have over 80 contestants pre-registered this year, which is huge numbers. Last year we doubled what was pre-registered, so we're really expecting a good turn. Every book, every character, Peter Brown has it covered, and these kids clearly love what they read.
Now, like she said, there was over 80 since pre-registered. So I'm not even sure, it was all blurred, the total count, but there was over 100 different kids, ages 0 to 4, 9 and above, and there was even a group category. And they were all just over the top. There was one kid who had a helium balloon who was literally floating. There was a robot that had light up eyes. It was amazing. But the coolest part that they told me was that an author has never made a guest appearance at the costume contest. And today, Peter Brown himself walked in middle of the competition, and they stopped it, and all the kids looked and it was like celebrity to them. They're all there just for him. So it was a super cool experience and a great way to kick off the parade, which I'll have a much better look at coming up later in the show.
And still to come on Fox West Texas Live at 9, our Dax Gray. He's a lucky man. He'll join us live from Round Rock at the Dell Diamond. The baseball team is set to play in the state semifinals. And don't forget, you can always text us at 325-400-8785. Let us know what you think about our stories that we're sharing. If you have any questions or suggestions, let us know. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Fox West Texas Live at 9. School may be out, but the state championships for baseball in the spring season are still going.
It's pretty crazy how long that season is. And Texas is so big, so to make it down to the Final Four in your respective class is really impressive. Our Dax Gray joins us now from the Dell Diamond, where the Wall Hawks will take the field tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. that is. What's going on, Dax? How is it?
Good evening, guys. I've made it my way inside the stadium here at Dell Diamond since the last time we spoke, and the atmosphere here is pretty amazing. The stadium is pretty full, and hopefully this is an appetizer to the crowd of what's going to go down in 12 hours from now when the Wall Hawks go ahead and face Kirbyville for the 3A state semifinal. But last night at this time, the Albany Lions tried to punch in their ticket to the state final. We have highlights of that. Let's go to them now. The Lions taking on #1 team in the state, and Big Sandy did not prove them wrong. They're the top dog. This game was scoreless going into the bottom of the 5th until the Wildcats started swinging the wood. They jumped out to a 4-run lead in the late innings, and that's all they would need to move on to states. The final was 4-1. 4-1, and Albany took the loss. They had a great season, a fighting end there, but we've had to tip their hats off to them. Great season there. Coming live, you can hear how amazingly loud it is here. The Wall Hawks have one thing going for them, and that's offense. They have a 37-1 record. They scored 20 runs in the regional final to get here. Looking on the other side of the ball, Kirbyville has the pitching. They have a guy named Will Rice who pitched a perfect game in the regional semifinal. He struck out 10 guys in 97 pitches. Something has got to give tomorrow morning here at the Dell Diamond. Kirbyville versus Wall. I'll have all the highlights for the rundown tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So for now, we're live here at the Dell Diamond. I'm Dax Gray, sending it back to you guys in the studio.
Good job, Dax. Now still to come on Fox West Texas Live, the world needs more people like this Concho Valley icon. His story's coming up next.
Welcome back, everyone. You know, here's the thing. We really didn't have the high dew point values today that we had the last couple of days. So it actually felt kind of decent out there. Still, though, climbed up to 90 degrees officially out at Mathis Field. My forecast actually hit 91. My forecast called for 90. That brings us now to a one-day accuracy streak. And, of course, we'll do it again tomorrow with temperatures back into low to mid-90s. I want to show you your 7-day forecast. 94 is what we're calling for Friday. It may be even a couple of degrees warmer the farther south and southwest you live out towards Crockett County. Close to 100 degrees on Saturday. We may be flirting with it, and some of us might actually hit it for the first time this year. We'll all likely hit it by Sunday, calling for temperatures right around 101. That's when our next rain coverage will move in. That's going to be with a June cold front. It'll drop temperatures, upper 70s, big country, lower 80s for the Concho Valley by Monday, but we're back to return to the mid and upper 80s with, again, additional rain chances possible in the heat of the afternoon for Tuesday, Wednesday, before we're back into the 90s early next week. To explain this more, let's take a closer look at your forecast and discuss exactly what I have moving forward in time. And we'll start our time cast out here at around 10 o'clock tonight. Again, nothing of any concern for your fans. We'll have a little bit of cloud cover start to roll in across areas north of the I-20 corridor. San Angelo, you'll likely stay clear overnight tonight. Tomorrow, we'll begin our morning with lots of sunshine. You know, after a rough spring, I don't have a problem with a forecast like this because we've got lots of sunshine by Friday afternoon. As I mentioned, the heat is back on. We're talking temperatures in the lower 90s from Bayard to Abilene, Sweetwater 94, and then mid to upper 90s as you get down towards San Angelo. And this is the area back towards the west that could be flirting with 99 and close to 100 degrees. That's certainly in the forecast. Let's pick up where we left off. 6 o'clock on Friday. Any Friday night plans? Certainly no concerns for us. As we put this into motion, we stay clear overnight into early Saturday. And then as we head through Saturday, much of the same. Lots of sunshine, maybe some passing upper level cirrus clouds. But then, yeah, that humidity is back in the forecast. So while the thermometer might read this, with dew points like this, up clearly into the 70s. Dew points will easily be in the 70s by 60s and 70s. And so what that will do for us is give us a real feel or a heat index value by Saturday afternoon with temperatures like this. So you're going to want to make sure you're giving yourself lots of breaks from outside because this is just downright unbearable in some cases, especially along the I-10 corridor. Overnight tonight, though, a last kind of relatively mild night, 66, porch patio weather. That's what we call that here on Fox West Texas. Tomorrow, we'll climb back into the low to mid 90s for the big country, mid and upper 90s possible for the Concho Valley as we head through time. And then the heat back for the weekend, 94 Saturday, 97 on Sunday. That rain coverage we're watching carefully. Right now I have a low end severe weather risk, but we'll keep a close eye on it for you. Back into the upper 70s by Monday, 80s and 90s will greet us as we head through the middle and latter half of next week with up to 20 to 30% of us seeing the rain. Overnight lows stay in the mid and upper 60s to the lower 70s by Wednesday.
Thanks, Ricky. Sometimes some of the most simple gestures can make the biggest impact on someone's life. Sometimes those reminders come from the most unexpected people. Our KIDY Broadway had a chance to spend a few moments with the Crab Man this week. He's known in West Texas for having a passion for life and the people in it, and it shines bright.
My real name is Craig Black, but I don't hardly hear that. Oh, by the way, God bless all of y'all and salute, salute, oh, salute. And they call me Crab since I was 8 years old. Colorful person, I dress colorful sometimes, a lot of times. The umbrella, it ain't just made for rain. This is my shade, block wind. I was gonna buy a lock. I was gonna buy a lock. I said, well, I ain't gonna be in there that long. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Because I normally go in there and park in there and nobody ever touched it. But it was another bike that I just had gotten, looks brand new or something. I guess they wanted it more than I did. Oh well, a bike is a material thing. You can always get one, but you can't get nobody's life or heart. You can't get that. A bike ain't nothing. That's a material thing.
All right, you ready?
Well, it sort of hit my heart. People in San Angelo, y'all very, very blessed day. And like I say, God loves you. He don't care what you did or how you did it. He still loves you. Y'all take that in consideration.
Fox West Texas, winner of 2 prestigious regional Edward R. Murrow Awards.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, today the city of Brady unveiled a statue, and that was of James Earl Rudder. It's located right in the middle of downtown.
Which is a beautiful location. The D-Day hero was honored today by his family, friends, and people in the community. But our Monica Coleman got to speak to the creator of the masterpiece. Hey, Monica.
Earl Rudder was a man who wore many hats. He was not just an American soldier, but also a great leader in the Brady community. Today, the Heart of Texas had the revealing of the James Earl Rudder statue, and I got to speak to the man behind the historic masterpiece, Roy Kelly. He said it's been 3 years to get the funds together to make the giant monument, but it only took a year to create his vision in clay, then mold, then cast it into bronze. This isn't his first time sculpting an American war hero, but the challenges he faced bringing the soldier to life.
Because it was having to work from photographs, and that's very difficult to do because you have to search for photographs of a different angle of his face or how he stood or whatever it was. But once I obtained those, then it goes fairly quick.
The artist did go on to say that he is so happy that on the 75th anniversary that the town of Brady was able to see what he created come to life. Live in the Fox West Texas studios, I'm Monica Coleman.
Thanks, Monica. 75 years ago, can you believe it? Colonel Gabriel traded in his flute for a machine gun and stormed the beaches of Normandy.
The death and destruction haunted him. By trying to silence the cries of World War II, he found a second chance at life through music.
I just wondered how you're going to live until the next day, literally, because so many people just dying to the right and left and front of you and back of you, and you thought, when's my turn? Nobody landed where they were supposed to. And I landed far to the left flank of where we were supposed to land, and landed with the 1st Division, the Big Red 1. There were naval shells, aircraft, machine guns, and 88 coming from the Germans, and just thunderous and deafening. Suddenly, there was absolute silence. And that's the kind of feeling you get. After a while, you kind of shut it all out. And that silence was very meaningful, because that's the kind of feeling you had after a while. You couldn't bear the total sound of it, so you shut it out. And you did for a while, but of course it came back very quickly. When I came back from the war. Of course, I had post-traumatic stress like everybody else, and I was working in a factory. My high school band director came and said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm making a living. I'm making 87 cents an hour." And he said, "You're going to college." So he came back about a week later and said, "Well, I've paid your matriculation fee, I've waived your audition," and literally pushed me into college.
Music is important on so many levels because it's a language we can all understand. It can bring us to incredible heights of joy. It can move us to tears, but help heal. One of his mentors said, "You know what? Why don't you join the Air Force Band? Why don't you get in on this music thing? I think this is going to help you."
So I came here in 1951 to audition for an Air Force Band position, and I won the position.
And then he went on to become the commander and conductor of the United States Air Force Band.
Without question, music has saved my life.
When I see Colonel Gabriel step up to the podium at his age, at 94 years old, first and foremost, he's just an incredible individual. He will continue going. I have absolutely no doubt. There's no stopping that man. I want to be someone like Colonel Gabriel who keeps going, who keeps making music, who keeps making an impact. And it's something that touches every musician, every person that he comes in contact with. I feel a great sense of pride at his continued ability and aptitude to embody the Air Force values of integrity, service, and excellence. He has just an incredible history and a legacy of valor. He is truly an inspiration to all of us.
When you talk to the band about how to play, you know what you're teaching them? Discipline, balance, blend. These are things that you need to do. You have to either blend with your neighbor. You have to balance your life with your neighbor. You have to love your neighbor. And that's what you do when you make music.
I'm Ricky Cody, and you're watching Fox West Texas.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, we showed you a glimpse into the costume contest earlier, but there was so much more than that.
Yeah, that costume contest over in the Big Country is part of their calf festival that they have quite often, every year at that. Lexus was actually a judge of that costume contest. Lexus, what was your favorite costume?
Hey Kenny, now my favorite costume had to be the creepy underpants costume. Now I don't know a glimpse of it, but you had to see for yourself. He's famous for creepy underpants story as well as the creepy carrot story. But the Cat Festival is truly a really incredible event. It's been going on for 8 years, even though this was my second time attending, so I kind of got the flow of it. But I'm not gonna lie, after seeing everything go down this afternoon, it made me want to go check out some children's books, and maybe it'll do the same for you. Take a look.
We love the Calf Festival. It's so great for all of the children to come and just get to experience literature and art.
It tells you a story of something. It might not be true, it may be true.
What's your favorite part about today?
The contest.
I'm kind of envious of you right now. Is it cool?
If you had told me in the beginning of my career as an author illustrator that someday there'd be a life-size tiger sculpture based on my character in Abilene, Texas, I would have thought you were crazy. But look at how the world works. This is a beautiful thing.
It's just amazing, and we're so glad to be here every year.
Now, that was just a glimpse at the unveiling, the parade, and the costume contest. They've got a schedule and a full lineup for the rest of the weekend, and children under 2 get in free. For a full schedule, make sure to check out our website and tap the link. Reporting for Fox West Texas, I'm Lexus Green.
And don't forget, you can always text us at 325-400-8785. Yeah, we hear you. Again, that's 325-400-8785. Let us know what you think about the stories tonight. We've already got a few texts. We'll share those in just a bit. We'll be right back.
Hi there, I'm Amrita McCody, and you're watching Fox West Texas.
Welcome back, everyone. It's our favorite time of the night. Check this out. A Florida couple gets quite the scare. This hungry alligator crashed their lakeside picnic. Shortly after sitting down to eat their meal, the couple got that unwanted guest, a ravenous reptile who emerged from the water and snuck toward the picnic spread. Forced to abandon their loot, the couple watched the gator devour all of their food, including an entire block of cheese. That's pretty funny. I would too.
Yeah, why not? Plastic surgery is getting a new face as the number of men going for cosmetic procedures is rising. This according to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. From 2000 to 2017, the organization cites a 29% increase in men going under the knife for the sake of beauty. Prominent operations most men are opting for, which include eyelid surgeries and liposuction. Surgeons say neck tightening and under eye bag removal procedures are also common. I will be one of those people in no time, I promise, and I'm not afraid to say it.
My mom really wants that eye surgery, the eye bag thing. Ugh. Anyways, you don't need fancy stemware to enjoy this wine. It comes in a pouch, High Key Wines, and they want to help winos ditch the corkscrews and heavy bottles this summer. They're launching 3 flavors of wine pouches, dry rose, semi-sweet rose, and sweet white. And they each hold about a glass of wine and 12% alcohol by volume. The company says 20 pouches take up the same space as a bottle of wine. So it's a wine Capri Sun, essentially.
You know what? Good call.
Yeah. I prefer Capri Suns, period, over wine. But
remember how hard the straws were to get in the Capri Sun?
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
You don't want to spill those on you, I'm sure.
No. Whataburger fans, don't fry your brain trying to figure out the perfect gift to get your dad for Father's Day this year. Whataburger has the perfect last-minute gifts for those trying to catch up to Father's Day. Among the dad-themed products were bow tie, socks, trucker cap, and Whataburger-styled running shoes, which are called sneakers in my world, tennis shoes in some people's worlds, gym shoes. We had this whole debate the other night.
Sneakers, even Nikes are sneakers?
Sneakers, yeah.
Okay.
Whataburger also added numerous other products, including ketchup pillows.
What if your dad's not from Texas and he doesn't know Whataburger?
Can you imagine not knowing what it is? And they just get a pair of shoes on the doorstep looking
like
that.
I would totally get him that doormat though. He wouldn't use it. He'd burn it or something.
Miranda wants the pillows.
Our producer wants the pillows. I'll just take the burger and fries, maybe shake.
Yeah. I've had some Whataburger this week. I think I need to take a little break.
Oh,
We'll just
how
leave it
many
at that.
times?
A couple.
Couple. I haven't had Whataburger in forever.
Yeah. We're gonna time out with that.
I actually haven't had Taco Bell in forever either. Have you?
No, and we talked about you last night with Taco Bell because there was a hotel in Louisiana that ran out of hard shells, and the person actually called 911, and we said that's something.
They
soft
ran out of soft
shells.
shells.
And they said, you know what, Kenny might do that. Get so mad if
they
were
ran
out of
out of
something.
mild sauce.
Yeah.
You know how much mild I get. I get a lot of mild sauce. Yeah, they get this. I just like the taste of mild. I like spicy things, so they're telling me in my ear my producer gets the fire sauce. And I love spicy things, but I just like the taste of the mild so much.
Yeah, it is good. Everything's good
But
at
I
Taco
think
Bell.
I ate so much Taco Bell at some point, especially when I learned Ricky loved it and you loved it just as much. Like we were going too much. And now I don't crave it.
We were going quite a bit. We took a break.
I don't know. I don't even crave it. I haven't craved it in forever.
Whataburger, gets back to that real quick, is just in Texas? I know it's originated here, but is it just, it's nowhere
Almost
else?
positive, unless they have one in like Louisiana or something. I don't know. We're going to figure that out and let you know when we come back from the break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back everyone. We decided to do some research during the break because, as usual, your source of news and information, and this is very important. He had asked, is Texas the only state that carries Whataburger?
Right.
No, it's not.
I thought yes. Okay, Ricky, this is not your turn. This is our turn to be the source of news and information.
To be fair,
your weather. Stick to your job.
I know it's in Oklahoma because my resource that is working behind the scenes for me happens to have gone to school there. Knew that it was.
Okay, but did you know? Did you know it's in 9 other states?
I did. I know it's in 10 states total. It actually originated in Corpus.
Okay, well, that's because Miranda just told you you were here. But I did know that because I've been to the original one, but it is in Arizona, Arkansas, Alabama, California, no, I'm just kidding. Arizona, Arkansas, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas.
And here I am this whole time thinking Texas is so special because they have Whataburger, but they're not the only state.
Well, because it all had to start somewhere, and it had to start right here in the Lone Star State.
Hey, Ricky, you're going to take that same break with me, right? Whataburger.
Yeah.
No Whataburger?
Yeah, we're going to take a break.
How many times do you eat it, Ricky?
I actually don't eat it all that much, to be honest with you.
Okay, but this week, how many times did you eat it?
Let's talk dew points out there because we've got... Let's go to the graphics here and show you because, yeah, as we've been talking about, the heat will be back on as we head through the second half. Well, the second half of the week's right now, but especially as we head into the weekend. I want to show you, though, how much dew point plays. Dew point here, guys, is a true measure of moisture in the air. You don't ever hear me talk about relative humidity. And that's because that is kind of, really, it's a falsehood. It's total, the math and everything behind it. The real answer is dew points. And dew points do give us the true measure of moisture in the air. And we've certainly felt that the last couple of days, not so much today. However, as we move forward in time, we'll see our dew points climb back up into the 70s by the second half of the weekend. And that will allow for temperatures to feel a lot warmer out there than they actually are. The good news is, look what happens by Monday. Our next front arrives, a June cold front, and that will actually drop temperatures back into the upper 70s to low 80s. Not unheard of, but certainly not what we're used to here as we start June. All right, so let's talk about what we expect moving forward. Here's 10 o'clock tonight. There's no concerns for your forecast overnight tonight. I don't have rain. I don't certainly have blowing dust in the forecast. And then as we start your day tomorrow and cruise right into the afternoon, still expect lots of sunshine. Temperatures tomorrow on the thermometer, the mercury, that will rise to the low to mid 90s across the northern big country. We'll see the mid and upper 90s. The warmest spots will be down towards Reagan County and Crockett County, where we'll be flirting with 100 degrees. As we head into your day as tomorrow afternoon and into Friday night, we'll keep things mostly clear overnight and into Saturday. By Saturday morning, lots of sunshine, and it really will be a nice day as long as you're giving yourself plenty of breaks and, of course, you're drinking water. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that tomorrow, about why humidity and heat index is such an important thing to remember across even West Texas, when we oftentimes are very dry. And what part of the reason, if I can, is because of how much water we've seen. We've seen so much rain, in fact, the wettest in many cases for both the winter and the spring, that all that moisture will begin to evaporate. And when the air itself can only hold so much water, where does it sit? Right here with us. So that's why that will be a concern as we head into the weekend. Plus, we've got lots of sunshine, so there's going to be a lot of evaporating going on. Clouds will build back towards the west. Future casts a couple of models try to throw a shower away. I don't buy it, so we're not going to talk about it. As we head into Saturday afternoon, here's a look at what temperatures will be like on the actual thermometer. And then, as I mentioned, you factor in the dew point value out there, what it actually will feel like. We're talking the upper 90s to low 100s from Paint Rock to Brady to Menard, San Angelo, El Dorado, and Sonora. So no doubt a very warm weekend in store for us. Tonight, we call it porch patio weather here at Fox West Texas. Northwest winds between 5 and 10 will drop down generally in the low to mid 60s. For overnight lows. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, getting hotter. Temperatures will be right around 90 degrees. And the 7-day forecast itself keeps the heat in our forecast as we head into the next couple of days. 97 on Sunday before our next chance of rain arrives. Right now, the severe weather threat looks pretty low, both Sunday night and into Monday. 40% of us see that rain. 67 as we head into your Monday morning. Then we'll be back up in the upper 70s, warming into the 80s by Wednesday and Thursday. Forecast very similar for our Concho Valley friends too. 99 on Saturday, 101 Sunday. We'll stick with the 80s and 90s with 20 to 30% coverage of rain into next week.
Thanks, Ricky. We all find our strength in different ways, but the incredible young woman you're about to meet found her strength on the court. Check it out.
Boogie Wilson. She is resilience personified.
Her advice to the younger girls is,
and in her quiet way, a powerhouse.
To keep your head up and just have fun.
Meet Pasco High School basketball star Danielle Wilson, better known as Boogie. Where did Boogie come from?
7th grade, my basketball coach said it looks like I was dancing when I do my layups, so Boogie.
Senior night for the Panthers.
Last home game.
It's Boogie's night because she is this team's driving force.
Danielle Boogie Wilson.
You're never gonna cry, are you?
Now I can hold the kids to a higher standard. If this kid can do it, you know, you need to pick it up a little bit.
It's just that she's an amazing person. And she never got credit for it before because she didn't want people to know.
Boogie kept a difficult and depressing secret. It began in 2008 when she moved to Fort Worth with her mom and sister.
We came down here with nothing, just our clothes, and we moved.
Danielle and her family hadn't been in Fort Worth long when financial difficulty caused a downward spiral, and they ended up here at the Eco Motel, all three of them sharing this tiny room that measures 12 feet by 15 feet.
I didn't want to be out sleeping in a car or something like that.
The Center for Transforming Lives in Fort Worth, formerly known as the YWCA, says nearly 15,000 kids are experiencing homelessness in Tarrant County. The study didn't just count kids under bridges, but also those in dire similar to Boogie.
That was really the hardest part, like living in a hotel. Like people are like, oh, where do you live? I don't know. You know, I didn't really want to say, oh, I live in a motel, you know?
Lots of nights I would come from me and be like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. I think like the hardest part was the noise.
Presbyterian Night Shelter for Women and Children. It provided stability, but came with a cost.
I didn't like it. The people were loud. They had like certain rules and stuff they had to follow. We had a curfew that was like 6 o'clock. Who comes in at 6 o'clock?
She was hiding it pretty well. I had no idea what was going on.
Why were you embarrassed about living in that shelter?
I just felt like people look for it because, you know, oh, you're homeless. They probably like feel bad for me. I don't want that. I'll do it for the s'mores.
Boogie responded to her trying circumstance with hard work and a smile that seemed permanent. A model student athlete.
Let's go, get it out.
All district and academic all state, with basketball providing a much needed release.
How bad I felt about living in the shelter, moving around and stuff. I just didn't want to express that. I don't know how. So basketball, I let it out to that.
It's amazing what she's been through, and the fact that she was living in a homeless shelter shouldn't define who she was.
You know, she's been a blessing to me. She's been a blessing to this campus.
It's like all about how you react to it. And if I spend my life reacting badly to it, it'd be like, oh, this sucks. Like, then nothing good would come of it. So I had to stay positive and smile.
That's Boogie, understated, but positively powerful. She scored a 1330 on the SAT, the University of Houston offering a scholarship to cover tuition.
I see the smile on your face already. What's it mean to you?
Oh my God, I'm so proud of her.
The family has an apartment now. Meanwhile, Boogie's basketball playing days may be over, but that's fine. She's already a champion at a much tougher game, life.
I never thought that people would look at it that way. And it's great.
In Fort Worth, I'm Joe Trahan.
Welcome back, everyone. Now we're going to share some texts with you. We always like to get texts from you guys, and then we get to read them at the end of the show.
We had a really nice text, and I wish I could have shown this quicker. It is a picture. Oh man, my mic is off. See what happens when you turn it off during the show? There it is. Yeah. Charles Billington was the chaplain's assistant on the SS St. George. Decorated, went over there to Pearl Harbor and was part of the whole D-Day. Yeah. You know, there's a really cool picture with his stars and emblems here. So. And his medals, and it's really
I love
cool.
that.
Well, I'm gonna post this picture. This is really neat.
Yeah, that's a beautiful picture. Yeah, I've truly loved just seeing all the stories that we've shared today on D-Day. I just think they're so inspiring, and it truly is a day that we should never forget or take for granted.
Got another one that said, thank you, James Earl Rudder.
Yes.
So yes, indeed, thank you.
Thank you, everyone who has served and continues to serve. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 6 for The Rundown.